Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how to make DIY miniature school supplies inspired by Starbucks. If you're new to my channel and you'd like to see future DIY videos, please click that subscribe button. And if you enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up. So to get started with the keychain, you will need a clear plastic portion cup and also some acrylic paint. I'm going to use this classic caramel color. I added some of the paint to the cup and I swirled it around until it was fully coated. Once my cup was fully coated, I just let that dry for about 24 hours. I'm going to use the 1.5-inch styrofoam ball from this pack. Once the cup had dried, I placed the styrofoam ball in it. I'm going to use some white puffy paint and create the whipped cream effect. You want to go around the outside of the styrofoam ball. This will hold the ball in place and make it not fall out of the cup. Just continue to swirl it around until you have a whipped cream effect. I let my puffy paint dry for about 24 hours, and here it is after it was dried. As you can see, the puffy paint holds the ball inside the cup. To create the chocolate drizzle on top, I'm just going to use some of this shiny hot chocolate puffy paint. To make the hook for the keychain, I'm going to use a paper clip, and I just opened it up, keeping the little round part on the top. To make the paper clip look more like a straw in the cup, I'm going to use some of this acrylic green paint and just paint the top of the paper clip. I trimmed down the paper clip so it would fit in the cup. I then pushed the paper clip into the styrofoam ball so the two parts of the paper clip were into the ball. The next thing I did was I added a jump ring and a keychain, and then I printed out a Starbucks logo onto some sticker paper. You can just use regular plain paper and some glue, and I stuck that on the front of the cup. And that is how you make this DIY mini Starbucks keychain. The next project will be DIY mini notebooks. For this one, you will need one of these mini red cups. I cut one side of the cup and then the other, leaving me with two halves. On a piece of cardstock, I traced around one of the halves of the cup, and then I cut that out. I did that twice, so I had two pieces of the cardstock cut out. This step is optional, but I chose to paint my cup with some white acrylic paint. I printed out this printable. I will leave a link down below, and then I just cut the printable out. Once my cup was dry, I just secured the printable to the cup with some glue. To make the notepad, I'm going to use one of the cardstock pieces that I cut out. I'm going to trace that onto some paper and then cut out all my sheets for the notebook. Now that I have all my paper for my notebook, I clipped those together. With some Elmer's glue, I painted along the side of the notepad to bind it together. When the glue dries, then your notebook will be bound together. I took one of the pieces of cardstock and I glued that to the back of the notebook. With the other piece of cardstock, I used hot glue to secure it to the back of the cup. I cut out half a moon shape, leaving a little flap. I folded it so it would fit inside the cup, and then I checked to make sure that it would fit inside. Before I glue it in place, I'm going to paint it so it looks like coffee. I'm going to use this classic caramel color, so mine's gonna look more like coffee and cream. Once it was dry, I secured the flap to the cardstock, and then I glued along the rim of the cup to secure it. I glued the top sheet of the notebook to the cardstock on the cup. And that is how you make a Starbucks DIY mini notebook. The next Starbucks idea will be a DIY mini slime pen. For this one, I'm going to use a clear sheet protector. This DIY will be similar to the McCafe slime phone case. I will leave a link down below to that video. I traced around the cup printout onto the sheet protector using the sealed side of the sheet protector as the bottom of the cup. The next thing I did was I cut the cup out, and then I did that a second time so I would have two. I placed the side of the cup in a piece of parchment paper, and using a metal ruler as a guide, I used an iron to go along the side. Here is the first side after it was sealed. I repeated the same process on the other side. I also sealed the other cup using the same process. To make the slime, I'm going to start by adding some clear Elmer's glue to a bowl. To color it, I'm going to use some classic caramel acrylic paint, and I'm just going to add that to the glue and mix it together. Next, I'm going to use some Tide laundry detergent. I just added that to the paint and glue mixture slowly until it formed slime. Here is my slime. I'm going to take a little piece of the slime and add that to the cup, and I'm also going to do it for the other one. To seal the top, I'm just going to stick that in the parchment paper using my ruler as a guide, and then an iron to seal it together. Repeat the same process for the other one so you have two. Next, I'm going to use a plastic bag and some white puffy paint. I placed one of the cups on the bag, and with the puffy paint, I created a whipped cream effect. I then set that aside and let it dry. Here is mine once the puffy paint was dry. To create the same whipped cream effect on the other cup, I placed the one that was dry face down, and then I placed the bag on the top of it, and I used the puffy paint to create the same whipped cream effect. Here is the second one after it dried. I'm going to use one of these mini pens. If you don't have one of these, you can use the ink from a regular pen and cut it down to size. I'm going to paint the top of the pen with some of this green acrylic paint to make it look like a straw. When the paint on the pen dried, I used hot glue to secure it to the back side of one of the cups. With hot glue, I went along the side of one of the cups and I glued the two together. I went online, printed out the Starbucks logo onto a piece of sticker paper and cut it out. If you don't have sticker paper, you can just print it out on regular paper and glue it down. And that is how you make this DIY mini pen. The next DIY will be these super easy Starbucks bookmarks. Just head on down to the link below and print this out. Once you have it printed out, then just cut it out. I also printed out two Starbucks logos and cut those out. I used a piece of clear package tape to go over the top of all the images and trimmed off the excess tape. Here Here are mine after they all had tape on them. I'm going to use a piece of green string. You can also use green ribbon. Apply glue to one of the cups, place the string in the middle, and glue the other cup to the top. Trim the string, apply glue to one of the Starbucks logos, place the end of the string in the middle, and then glue the other logo on top. And that is how you make these easy Starbucks cup bookmarks. The final project will be a DIY liquid phone case. I'm going to use one of these clear portion cups. Cut the cup in half just like in the mini notebook DIY. The next thing I did was I just cut out a strip from a sheet protector. Hot glue along the sides and the bottom of the cup and glue that to the sheet protector. Using a toothpick, wipe away any excess glue before it dries. Add some water to make sure there are no leaks. To make the liquid, I'm going to use some soap and some pink acrylic paint. And yes, I know that the cotton candy frap is no longer pink, but I wanted this one to be pink. So I just added those two together and mixed them up. Pour the liquid mixture into the cup, hot glue around the top of the cup, then pull the sheet protector over tightly, and then with your fingers smooth it out to make sure that it seals. You don't want any leaks. Trim off the excess sheet protector. To make the whipped cream, I'm going to use some white Model Magic clay. I just rolled that out into a snake shape. I'm going to use a clear phone case, and what I did was I just applied hot glue to the back of the cup and glued that to the phone case. Start wrapping the clay around the cup to look like whipped cream. After I had mine wrapped around, I took it off and shaped it a bit more. I set it aside and let it dry. When the whipped cream piece dries, hot glue that to the cup. I printed out a Starbucks logo, cut it out, and placed it on the cup. And that is how you make this liquid Starbucks DIY phone case. I hope you guys enjoyed all of these DIY mini school supplies inspired by Starbucks. I would love it if you gave this video a thumbs up, leave me a comment, and let me know which one was your favorite. Until next time, I hope you guys all have an amazing day.